Well, Keith, a warm welcome to Tranmere, a very competitive game and a great result from your team in the end.
Yeah, watched the last 5 games prior to this, but today we won a different way. We won with a lot of character, some good football, a great goal to win any game, but we won with character today, and that will stand us in good stead. You need that spirit, you need that courage. We performed well under the pressure that the opponents put us under. We played some good football as well.
We've seen a lot from Corey Blackett-Teller since he came back from his injury, and he'd almost scored, I think, just before that, hadn't he, when the keeper fumbled it. But what a great goal to score. It
was a great goal to score. I thought the diagonal pass from Clark was superb. But we're a possession-based side, but tonight we had to win a different way. But the goal itself, it's a contender to win any football match. It was a special goal. But the team spirit, reflects in the celebration. I've got to say the staff have been absolutely superb in supporting me since I've been here. And long may it continue. There's not an awful lot wrong. We've just got to lead the players, and they're very ambitious, very competitive, and looking forward to the remainder of the season.
Saw that character in the second half, because you'd won the battle in midfield, and then Carlisle, of course, were going long all the time, and Clarkey and Big Manny had to sort of show their skills, didn't they?
I think everybody did. I think it was fiercely competitive. I thought it was a physical game in comparison to Saturdays, and it showed how productive we can be in that type of game as well. So we've come up against a team who are fierce, in the physical presence, fierce in the way that they put you under pressure in and out of possession. We've played through it at times, we've defended excellently. We've come up and conjured what is an unbelievable goal. So, there was other goal scoring opportunities as well. But the players know they've won a different way, and to win the 2 games over the weekend and today on Tuesday in the manner that we have shows a reflection of how deep the squad is at dealing with the opposition.
Everybody's contributed. Even very early on. Scott Davis didn't have too much to do tonight, and made a really sharp save early on, didn't he?
Great save. Goalkeepers win football matches. Strikers score the goals. But it's obvious that if you want to win things and you want to get promotion, your goalkeeper becomes a match winner. There's no question about it. And we forget those saves that Scott made. It was an outstanding save, and it's a match winning save as well.
You mentioned the experience on the pitch and having those leaders out there and that will to win, and that says something about them, because some have had long careers, haven't they? And they've still got that willingness to try and win every football match they play.
Well, they're very competitive, but because they're experienced, the way that they communicate with the rest of the team, it's outstanding. And it's great when you're an older player to have a lot of energy around you, but you do have to organise, and we've got players out on the pitch who are very good at communicating, the messages that need to be, seen through with respect to the way that we're playing, the opposition, what they're doing. But it's, straight through the spine, we're very, very strong.
On a really good run at the moment, the team, six games in a row now, pushing up the league table. Is it too early to look at the league table? You're getting closer and closer to those top 7.
No, we're in good form. We've got to continue the momentum. We've got to thrive off the confidence, the self-belief, the buy-in that the players have had. But there will be bumps, there will be different problems that the opposition pose, and we've got to deal with it. And I feel as though we've got the squad to deal with it. So our ambition, is to compete in the higher echelons of this league. And I think we're capable of doing it with the squad depth that we've got, the players that we can bring onto the pitch off the bench. When and where we need to, we might rotate the team slightly, but at this moment in time, the players, they're in good form and they're holding down the shirts to start. So it's as good as it gets at this moment in time, but we've got to make sure that we continue the good performance levels, because performance levels do bring results.
When you look at the bench, a very strong bench, having the 5 subs now, is that a big help for you when you've got a strong squad?
It's a big help. It can cause problems as well as it can be a help, because there is a lot of chaos, when you're making those so many changes, or the opponents are, to get the information onto the pitch, and you don't want it chaotic. You want to be in control. You want the players to accept responsibility and be in control of what the opposition are doing and what we're trying to do. We've just had a conversation with the staff down there that it's something we'll probably have to train to make sure that everybody's well aware of, once we make the changes, what it is we have to go to, and solving the problems of the opponents with so many substitutes.
You mentioned Ian Dawes and Andy Parkinson there, and sort of the spirit they've got, and the players there as well, and welcomed you in there. I mean, it must be great to come into a club and a dressing room that's like that.
Brilliant. They've been superb in the support, and it's just a question of small processes that I might be able to add little bits to. The processes that they're going through, the team spirit, the shape, the player performances, it just needs a little bit of nurturing, a little bit of, sometimes it might need necessary change, but at the minute it doesn't need any change, just support. And I'm coming in, the staff has supported me, and I'm supporting the staff and the players, so it's a smooth transition. It's got to be a smooth transition, and they've done a magnificent job. The body language of the players, they're enjoying the football, and part of enjoying the football is not having the ball, it's when we haven't had the ball, and they're enjoying that side of the game as well. So they're playing happy, and it's important that we have that.
You mentioned those difficult times, and with your vast experience as well, I mean, that's when you can be a real help and a boost, I suppose, around everybody.
Yeah, I think when you go through difficult times, you become a better learner, you become more humble, you become, I suppose, more relaxed, because you've gone through struggles, you've gone through troubles, and you get a clarity to the way that you think and the processes that you want to go through, but the system that the club plays now, it's a system that I've used a lot to get great success. It's a high energy, possession based, and like I said, the players are performing. It makes coaches, management job easier when them players are performing the duties. And it's not just the starting 11. I've witnessed on the training pitch yesterday and today, there's a great spirit, and everybody's working hard when they get their opportunity. So at this moment in time, we're very good, but we've got to make sure that we're ready for the bumps in the road.
Very, very tight games, quite often it's the crowd that can help you to get through. We're without the crowd at the moment, but somebody said to me tonight it was as if they were playing as if the crowd was there, and that's a real tribute to everybody.
The speed of the game, the crowd, they can affect the speed of the game, but the speed of the game was there tonight. It felt as though the crowd was in the stadium, because the energy out on the pitch, it was galvanised with the way that we want to play and the way that the opponents play as well. So it never dropped the tempo of that game. It was a special game to be involved in tonight.
How much were you looking forward to tonight? I mean, how are you excited by it? Has been everything you thought it might be?
Yes, you spend a lot of time contemplating, since we've been out of work, but you're ready, you're assured, you've deliberated, you become a better person, a better coach, a better manager, not just managing yourself but other people. So it's been a good time to reflect, and I've come in here with a purpose and intent and ambition, and it's going to be married and matched by everybody connected with the football club, the supporters, the chairman, the board of directors, the supporters trust, the players, the staff. There's a unity, I felt that straight away. And it's important that we retain that unity, because we win things together then.
Because they sort of feel unjust, I think, after what happened at the end of last season with what we'd all call a demotion rather than relegation. So there's that energy as well, isn't there, behind it all?
Yes, of course. And we've got to remember we're still in the early stages of the game, so we're on the rise. We've got to make sure we maintain, develop, and get even greater success, because the league is wide open. But to play against Carlisle tonight, who were, I think, fourth before the game, with the energy that they bring, the pressure that they put you under, I think that's a great result and a very, very strong performance.
Now it's the FA Cup on Friday night, not much resting at the moment. You mentioned before about possible rotations. Any niggles tonight or things you might think about for Friday that are different?
We'll have to assess that over the next couple of games, but it's an important game. I've had plenty of experience in the FA Cup playing against non-league sides. We have to be an underdog's mentality. We have to work harder than the opponent. We have to give them due respect. We have to make sure that we grind them down instead of them grinding us down. And we have to be as courageous as we were tonight, in and out of possession.
Thanks very much, Keith.
Surely before Corey Blackett-Taylor scored his great goal, it looked like he had the ball in the net already. What was your view of that incident?
Well, it's a difficult view. You know, I'm not too sure. We haven't got a good camera angle as well, but James Vaughan assures everybody that it was in. But it's not affected the scoreline or the outcome. It's affected the scoreline, but it hasn't affected the outcome. So we're grateful that we got a second opportunity, and it was virtually a mirror image of the first one. You know, but the way he dispatched the finish was tremendous. You know, and him coming inside onto his right foot, where he normally does it onto his left foot, it made the goal bigger for him, and it was a perfect finish.
Speaking of James Vaughan, he's playing up there on top on his own, well supported of course, but he showed real, you've seen in the last few games, he showed real experience and and his energy and his aggressiveness to play that line well on his own, hasn't he? Very.
He plays, sacrificial behaviour. He sacrifices what he wants to do in tonight's game, which is score goals for the sake of the team. The goals come from a different source tonight, but the way that he puts himself forward for every challenge, playing a target man role, and he's so efficient for us with respect to defending set plays as well. But you could say that about everybody, but he's been there, seen it, done it, and it's about making sure that he's ready for the next game, not ready for the next training session.
Tranmere looked nervous at the back earlier in the season, but that seems to have disappeared now and epitomised by the type of blocks that Peter Clark was making at the other end of the pitch. He looked like he's really enjoying himself there, as a good defender should.
I think he's enjoying it. I think me being an ex-central defender, the way to defend, like Peter's doing at this moment in time, is to defend less. So if we keep the ball more, he's got more energy, more focus to be able to defend like he's defending. So we're not looking to, have a game that's turnover after turnover after turnover where we're having to defend for 90 minutes like we had to defend in the last 15 minutes today. We want to keep possession. We want to make sure that part of our defensive strategy is defending while keeping the ball.
Is that reflected in the possession stats that we saw? I think it was about 73% possession for Tranmere in the first half. They have Callum Guy was putting good deliveries in, but their opportunities were limited.
They were limited to set plays, and that's not being disrespectful to Carlisle. They're very efficient and effective at getting the ball forward, playing for set plays, long throw-ins, and they put you under pressure. And we saw them do it at the weekend against Crawley. So respect to our defenders, but respect to our strikers to defending. From the front and defending set plays like they did, because, on the eye we look quite a small side in comparison to Carlisle, but from an aggression point of view, the players matched up to their height really well tonight.
Normally when a new manager comes into a side replacing a manager who's been relieved of his duties, they're coming into a losing side, or a team that's low on confidence. But that's just not the case at all here, is it? It's almost like the total opposite. Is that a bit of a weird situation to come into?
Difficult. Because if we lose games, it's my fault. And that's the conundrum. Not just for me, for the staff, for the players, for the chairman. But people make brave decisions, what they consider to be the right decisions. I've come in and I've supported the staff, and they've supported me. The same with the players, but it's not broke. It doesn't need fixing. It might need modifying slightly. But there's no point in coming in trying to change everything, to get to a situation where we end up losing football matches. But it is a difficult situation for a manager to come into. It doesn't often happen where you're coming into a club what have started winning games or are winning games, 5 on the bounce. It's got to be a continuation of that, and that's my aim, to continue that momentum. Don't fix what is right already. But it's been brilliant. But again, I ask myself the same question. You're normally coming in as a manager to lose an environment where you have to select a side to win a football match, and you have to do a little bit of magic. The magic's already there. Now it's a little bit of salt and pepper.
Like that. Just last final one from me. Brackley Town on Friday. It'll be the third home match or third match in 7 days. Obviously, momentum's a big thing in football. Will you tempted to ring the changes with so many games to shoot?
That's a decision that we'll make as a group of staff over the next couple of days. And we'll involve obviously the senior pros in that. But it's not just the senior pros. You do get you get a tell, you get a feel for things on the training pitch and in and around the training environment. So I don't think it's necessary to start making changes when you've got that momentum, when you've got that, winning, not just winning mentality, but the winning habit. You don't want to lose that and then trying to re-find it, because trying to re-find it, you end up making changes anyway. So we'll have to speak with the players. There's a lot of games coming thick and fast, but that's a decision we'll make obviously in the next couple of days.